morning, everybody. Hoping all of you are able to collect the prescribed textbook. Let me start the portion. Before that, okay, whenever we meet, whenever we see or encounter any physically handicapped, disabled, what will be your reaction? Definitely, ayyo, papa, higagbarditu. But you think really they need all this sympathy, our sympathy? Definitely, most of the people definitely know what do they need. Mainly our concern. More than that, they need, that is they, we should let them to lead an independent life. We should encourage them so that they have to work hard, they have to strive hard to lead an independent life. So what is very important, mainly whenever we meet any disabled or any physically any weak or any handicap, just we should try to help them. Instead of expressing our sympathy, we should try to let them to lead an independent life so that and we have one more very important point, we should treat them as they are the normal people, so that they do get the confidence, they do get the courage from our side, so to they will be encouraged to lead a very happy life. So that is very important. And one more thing about disabled, they are, though they are disabled, though maybe blind, maybe dumb and deaf, or maybe some other physical weakness, from that maybe they are suffering. But one thing, they are gifted with some extra power. For example, blind, okay, whenever that is that blind, just by getting the footstep step sound of the footsteps, or just by hearing the sound of the footsteps, that blind is able to recognize the owner of that footstep. Okay, we also recognize the voice. Just by recognizing the voice, definitely we may come to know that whether it is someone this one or that one. But that blind, he is a, just by getting the sound of the footstep, hearing the sound of the footstep, he is able to recognize that particular person. So that is the extra power. They are gifted with the extra power. In the same way, most of the people have handicap, they are gifted that with the extra power. And as already told, to lead a very normal life, they should be very confident. Yes, that is, we cannot get everything very easily. We have to strive hard. But one more thing, we have to remember one thing, nothing is impossible. So, whenever we work very hard, strive hard, definitely we can reach our goal. So, first, our goal should be very clear. First, we should have some goal in our life. It is not only for the physically handicapped, but even for the normal people also, this applies. That is a goal. So, that is, dear students, I know that all of you have certain goal. With certain goal only you have entered our college. So just every time you should remember what is your goal, what is your purpose of entering this college, and what you want to reach, and what is your, and to reach all these things, to reach our goal, willpower, confidence. So as already told, not only for the handicap, but even to the normal people, to all of us, what is very important, confidence. We should be very confident in our life. And also we should work very hard, strive hard to reach our goal. So confidence, our strong willpower, that is also very important. And patience. So with all these things, definitely we can reach our goal. And to mention, so many handicap are there, disabled are there, who have achieved a lot in spite of their, that is, physical weakness. They are able to achieve a lot. Among them, I'm going to quote only two. The one is Sudha Chandran, a very nowadays, that is, she has been recognized as a very popular dancer, a very one of the famous dancers. But um, that is, most of you may be aware of that, Sudha Chandran. In the, at the age of 16 only, she lost her leg. Still, very soon she overcame her grief suffering, and now she has been recognized as a very famous dancer. And one more is there, Malati Holla, and she is also very famous in spite of, that is, physical handicapness. She is a very famous international athlete. And all this brief introduction about the disabled, about the handicaps, that is mainly because today we are going to study a lesson that is mainly about the physically, mainly about the handicaps, mainly about the disabled. So here in this lesson, we are going to meet mainly two characters, both are blind. Though they are blind, and they, one more very interesting point, both are blind, they are traveling in a same compartment as a co-passengers. Though their traveling duration, it was almost 1 hour, but they both did, up to the end of the journey, they didn't come to know that they are blind. Another one is, that is, they are another one is their co-passenger is blind. So in such a way, so beautifully, so skillfully, both are able to manage their blindness, both are able to hide their blindness. That is mainly because both blind, they want to hide their blindness. They do not want to reveal their blindness. That is mainly because they know very well, if their blindness, if their disability has been revealed, they know what may be the reaction by the other people, especially your papa sympathy. So they do not want anybody's sympathy. So just to avoid that sympathy, just to escape from that sympathy, most of the people, just they work very hard to reach their goal, so that they do not want to depend on anyone for any work. They are able to do each and every work independently. So as already told, we should encourage their independence, and we should help them a lot, mainly to lead an independent life. Thus the lesson that we are going to start in this SEM, that is mainly the I Saw Not Here, written by Ruskin Bond. Written by Ruskin Bond. And Ruskin Bond, a very famous writer, essayist, short story writer, novelist, and he was born in Himachal Pradesh. He has written many books, especially for the children. For his great contribution to literature, even he has been awarded with a very great awards, that is Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. And this particular, the title, The I Saw Not Here, it has two more titles. They are the girl on the train, the eyes have it. So let me start the lesson, that is the eyes are not here. I had the compartment to myself to Rohan, and then a girl got in. So here the narrator is the narrator. It is a first person narration that starts with I. So actually, in your exam paper, like who is the narrator, who is the writer? So please make it clear. Writer is Ruskin Bond, and narrator is the blind person or one of the blind passengers. So I had the compartment to myself up to Rohan, and then a girl got in. So already the narrator, already he was in that compartment. The couple who saw her off were probably her parents. They seemed very anxious about her comfort, and the woman gave girl detailed instructions as to where to keep her things, when not to lean out of the windows, how to avoid speaking to strangers. Usually, whenever we are traveling all alone, especially if it is girl or whatever, whoever maybe it is, most of the time our parents or they do give so many instructions. Yes, you shouldn't. You should avoid the strangers. You shouldn't talk much with the strangers, and you shouldn't eat anything outside. You should avoid the eatables outside, and also this and that, and where to keep the luggage, how to go, like all those, so many instructions, mainly because they are so much care, concern for children. So they do give so many instructions. In the same way, here the blind, the narrator who is already in the compartment, he just goes on observing. He realizes, yes, a girl, she has boarded the train, has entered his compartment, and the people who are giving so many instructions, especially a lady who is giving so much instruction, he mainly thinks maybe just by getting the instructions, going through the instructions, the narrator realizes maybe she is the mother of his co-passenger. They said their goodbyes. The train pulled out of the station. As I was totally blind at the time. That means the narrator, by birth itself, he was not at all completely blind. He had a little bit eyesight, but later, in course of time, he lost his eyesight and the power of that eyesight. And when he starts to narrate the incident, he was almost blind, and I was totally blind at the time. My eyes is sensitive only to light and darkness. I was unable to tell what the girl looked like, but I knew she wore slippers from the way they slapped against her heels. Though, one funny thing, though he is blind, the narrator, but he was very curious to know how she may look. Though he knows very well it is not at all possible, that is, since he is blind, it is very difficult for him to know how she may look. Still, he was very anxious. He was very curious to know how she may look. Still, he guesses. Yes, maybe just by hearing the slipper sound, he thinks, yes, she is wearing the slippers. It would take me some time to discover something about her looks, and perhaps I never would. But I like the sound of her voice and even the sound of her slippers. So that is very sadly he says, yes, it may be very difficult for him to know how she may look, or maybe it may not at all be possible to find out how she may look. Still, just her voice, there was such a melody. So just by getting that, hearing that melodious sound of her voice, and even the slipper sound, yes, somebody they do walk with such a sound, horrible sound, but this girl, she walks so that is, even there was such a beauty or such a melody in her, even in her slipper sound. So by all these things, just by her sound and by her voice, and also by that slipper sound, he guesses, imagines, maybe she is beautiful. That is something tells him maybe that girl, she is beautiful. So at last he asked, okay, are you going all the way to Dehra? I asked. I must have been sitting in a dark corner because he was completely not able to differentiate, that is, darkness and light. So he has no idea where he was sitting, whether where he has been sitting, whether there is sufficient light or not. He has no idea at all. So that is, he mainly thinks, I must have been sitting in a dark corner because my voice startled her, surprised her. She gave a little exclamation and said, I didn't know anyone else was here. Well, it often happens that people with good eyesight fail to see what is right in front of them. They have too much to take in, I suppose. In a way, he mainly says, in a other way, we may say that he mainly comments those people who have a very good eyesight. For them, he that is, though many people, most of the people, though we have a very good eyesight, and we do take it as taken for granted. Yes, so I'm able to see everything very clearly. So even though we think in that way, but most of the time we do fail to observe everything very clearly. So here, actually he thinks mainly because he has no idea the girl is also blind. He thinks, yes, the girl, she has a very beautiful eyesight. So though he is in that compartment, still that girl is not able to look at him. That is, she doesn't come to know that, yes, one more passenger is there. So she doesn't observe him, realizing all these things, thinking all these things. So he mainly thinks that is, yes, those people who though they have a very good eyesight, they are not able to see everything clearly. And those who are blind, they do for them each and everything, even every minute detail becomes very important. they do observe everything very clearly, so that as already told, with their sixth sense, with their very clear hearing capacity, they are able to recognize the person, or they are able to recognize, or they are able to know what is going outside, mainly because they are aware of their weakness, and they do not want to treat their weakness or disability as a weakness, but they do want to treat it, they do take it as they want to be very strong in their life. So whereas people who cannot see, or see very little, have to take in only the essentials, whatever registers most tellingly on the remaining senses. I didn't see you either, I said, but I heard you come in. I wondered if I would be able to prevent her from discovering that I was blind, I thought. So, one thing very clear, the narrator, he doesn't want to reveal his blindness. So, only, though he has already told that, yes, he is there in that compartment, but somewhat he was surprised, shocked, whether the girl was able to identify or recognize his blindness or not. But as already told, he doesn't want to reveal his weakness. He doesn't want anybody's sympathy. Provided I keep to my seat, it shouldn't be too difficult. The girl said, I'm getting down at Saharanpur. My aunt is meeting me there. So at last, when he asked the question to that girl, that is, where you are going? Are you going to Dehra? For that, the girl answered when she came to know that one more passenger is there. She's not at all alone in the compartment. One more co-passenger is there. And to his question, she asked that she is going to get down at Saharanpur, and her aunt, that girl's aunt, she is going to meet there in that railway station. Then I had been better not to be too familiar. I said, aunts are usually formidable creatures. Where are you going? She asked. To Dehra and then to Masuri. So the narrator, he is going to Dehra. After that, he is going to Masuri.